Oh my god, I'm out here farming all the content this week. I was called out on the hot subreddit by a particular player causing some issues, and honestly, I'm at the point where I'm willing to just burn down this entire world to make this player base better at hot. So, let's bring up the Reddit thread. It begins! This is making the game worse and needs to be addressed. He starts off the conversation talking about he normally doesn't care about content creators, blah blah, but this trend of content creators hating on HOTS is becoming an issue and a problem, and at some point, the game will be saved by Microsoft! And me making videos about this is going to ruin those chances. I'm going to try really hard to respond to this objectively and not insult someone, although I was insulted multiple times in this comment thread as a person. So let's see how this goes. So here is the starting paragraph. This content creator used to be Master Diamond and is now recently trying to climb up to Diamond again. But it turns out his account is placed in gold and played a match where his team is clearly not to his skills or the enemy team's skill level. Anyone who plays in gold knows it's mostly filled with smurfs, griefers, low-skilled players, etc., etc. And for most of the match, he muted his teammates and proceeded to rant about his teammates' lack of skills and how this game is in a bad state because the players refuse to learn the game. True. I did say some of that. I don't think I ranted too hard for too long. Just pointing out some major mistakes, and I did a replay analysis, and I explained my entire thought process in a calm manner. But, you know, perspective is everything. And how the game is a bad state because players refuse to learn the game, and how he dislikes it so much and is only doing it because he got a sub goal and enjoys other MOBAs other than this, and compared it to games like League and Dota, which he claims everyone tries their best to win, unlike here that is filled with bad and troll people. I feel like the point of the video was completely missed. For full clarification, the point of the video is saying that the basics of the gameplay for Heroes of the Storm has been deleted from anyone that tries in ranked. Again, I do not care about quick match. I do not care about ARAM. Go crazy, have fun. If you want to run into battle and yell, "This is for the Alliance!" because you're a Blizzard nut, fine. Do it, have fun. But if you go into ranked, I think it's fair for other ranked players to expect you to have basic knowledge of the game, or at least a game plan. And my issue is that 40% of my teammates in that game, and in most games in Heroes of the Storm, did not have a game plan. There's nothing to play with. It is just running it down, causing distress, and being genuinely an asshole. And that is an issue, especially when I mentioned it is most games in HOTS, right? In League and Dota, they do have those players, but in 70 to 80% of the games, you at least get a game that you can win. And that's important. That's important for try-hard characters and try-hard players. It keeps the competitive spirit alive. And the competitive spirit in Heroes of Storm is missing. Let's continue. Now, I wouldn't have any issue since most streamers do this to entertain people, but he uploaded the video to YouTube which claims the player base sucks. I do think that. I think that. Yes, I said that. And there's no good players left in the game. Again, I wouldn't have any issue if it was at least for comedy content, but this is just one guy ranting about the game for the entire match. And if you watch HOTS content on YouTube, that's the first thing that gets recommended. Not many people upload to YouTube, so a new guy or someone that is interested in the game will be exposed to that, and then he proceeds to upload yet another video analyzing said replay and saying that he's in fact right and the game sucks and the player base is bad, claiming that HOTS players are babies. Yes. Yes, I did say all that. Yeah. Here's my hope with this video. I wish I had the power to just take this video game that you love so much, you know, the game that I spent years playing and adoring over, balance testing, casting esports to the highest level, you know, literally just fucking committing my entire life to. I wish I had the ability, with one YouTube video, sorry, I gotta be serious, with one YouTube video, to crush your hopes and dreams of this game being remade. Listen, my man, let's get things straight right away. This game was abandoned in 2018. You got 2 decent patches since then. You've got no new heroes. Some of the players, as my last video that came out yesterday, if you're keeping up to date, don't even know what the new characters are that came out after 2017. You think it's going to be saved, and one person pointing out that the players in the game bad, are going to stop Microsoft from putting resources into the game to save it. You don't think Blizzard abandoning it in 2018 because it was barely making any money is the reason why that is happening and why we're left the way it is. Second off, You think that I'm scaring away new players to Heroes of the Storm. Let me tell you something, man. God, I wish you understood what's going on in the background, right? Like, a lot of this frustration, yes, does have to do with me playing the game and looking at the players that are around me and whatnot. But my frustration with Heroes of the Storm is that it has a bad rap aside from me being out there. As a content creator, I've moved on to other games. Like, I'm pretty good to go. Like, again, as I mentioned, I came back to Heroes of the Storm and I try to play it here and there. One, it's a fun sub-goal. Two, it's great to compete here and there. It's a game that I used to love. And then three, it's something that I put my heart and soul into, man. Like, I don't know how to put this. I know you don't know who I am, and that's fine. You don't need to, nor do I think I have an ego big enough where I go, why don't you know me? But, like, I literally put so much effort into this game. You don't want Okay, I'm gonna stop. Outside of Heroes of the Storm players or the people that used to love it, Heroes of the Storm is considered a joke to everyone. I can tell you this because when I've done casting opportunities outside of Heroes of the Storm, I had to stop, and other casters have done this as well, telling people that I cast in HOTS as a prerequisite for getting a job, because you would get denied on most of the stuff, as HOTS is considered to be a baby game, right? If you go for sponsorships or anything like that, people would actually give you less money offered to it. I stopped mentioning that I played HOTS or streamed HOTS on my content creation, all my rates went up on things, on casting, on putting out videos, in terms of getting sponsored streams. Like, the buzz around HOTS is already pretty poor as is, and I would love to fix it, but I think it has to start with the foundation and groundwork of the player base themselves, right? They have to get better at the game for people to want to play it. Then you get more try-hard players that want to come in and play as well. You get a stable ecosystem, and then from there, Heroes can maybe have a chance to be revived by Microsoft. But it all starts with you guys. Stop blaming content creators. Stop blaming people who do play this game try hard as being too try hard or caring too much about their ranked experience, and start looking at your individual gameplay. Please, I beg of you. That's what this video is about. I'm begging you guys. Get your shit together, right? I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Continuing this. So I watched both videos trying to understand what is the purpose of this other than getting views, which he did compare to his other content. Okay, so you're personally attacking my other content, which, for the record, in the last year or two, I've started building up my YouTube, and it did start off pretty hard, and it was really rough to get out of my HOTS bubble because I was stuck into a HOTS bubble only. And I have gone from having 150 to 200 views to anywhere from 600 to 2,000 per a video based on what content I do, and I do a variety of content, which is counterintuitive to the algorithm. The point is, I stopped playing games that make me mad, HOTS, and started playing fun games that I'm much happier for it. So if you want to attack me for my viewership on YouTube, go ahead, but I think I'm doing pretty okay. And I tried to comment about the issues in rank system at the moment. Me saying it's a 50-50 issue, and if you're good enough you can carry gold games, but it's much harder now due to Smurfs, teams, etc. And point out many other issues because it's not a player-based issue. Gold players shouldn't ever have to perform like diamonds or above. I understand what you're trying to go here for. You're insinuating that I'm expecting a higher level of play from my teammates at a mediocre level of gameplay, right? At gold, players shouldn't have to play as well as they do at Diamond, Masters, Grandmaster, etc. I can say touche. I do think I consider myself pretty decent, and I'm always trying to predict plays and react to plays based on what I think players will do. And most of the time, I'm usually pretty right, especially in a macro sense. I think macro sense is probably one of my better strengths as a HOTS player. Mechanically, I'm just an old man just fumbling my way through video games. But my complaint, if you watch that video or the replay analysis, isn't that the Varian or KT in that instance, or any other player that I get mad at in games, is because they're just not doing anything. There's no game plan. There's no thought process. I need them to do something with their characters, or at least show they know what they're doing with their characters if they're in a ranked environment, so we can play off of them. I pride myself on adaptability. I will adapt in most of my matches if I see that you're playing correctly, and I will play around you. It's one of the reasons why I'm climbing in League of Legends, because I find players that are good, and I take what knowledge I do have. It is little in League, but it's getting better every day, especially if you've been watching my stream and my YouTube videos. Check them out below the channel. And I build up the people around me that are good, right? And my problem is these players aren't doing anything, and it's consistent. HOTS isn't about the most skilled team. Right now, anyways, in Stormlink, it's about who doesn't get the worst player. And there are a lot of worst plays in the game. There are people that throw or one trick or just play a character because they love him in their World of Warcraft 3, you know, like, that needs to be adjusted and needs to be called out. And it makes me sad that people in the HOTS subreddit say it's okay just to fuck around. It's gold, man. Who cares? It's silver. Who cares? Why are you playing in a competitive ranked mentality if you don't want to win? You know, maybe I am a dick, you know, but like, I feel like that's a fair question to ask people, and I will ask that daily, and I will ask that until I finish this master's climb. Now, he goes on to say, I know this because I used to do bronze to master challenges, and it's harder now than those days. Unless you get better at the game and achieve a skill like former HC players, you're gonna struggle too. So anyways, said streamer proceeded to delete my comment and the other comment trying to explain this to him, and is now on a crusade to calling HOTS players babies and bad. He just comes for the money and views. Okay, I get it. Many do it, myself included, but at least some content creators have valid points and can take criticism and provide constructive feedback on what they do. But there are some content creators that are hurting whatever is left of this game. Doing consistently challenges that promote smurfing, berating the community, playing this game, and saying it's trash, and when someone new asks about the game, they point them to the other MOBAs because they wish they had a viewer base there. Okay, so I don't know if he's talking about me or if he's talking about content creators in general. There is an issue in the Heroes of the Storm community, and it's a fair one if you ask me, where HOTS viewers will not go to other games, and that is something that I find really annoying. And I tell people that watch HOTS only that if you want to watch my stream, you shouldn't subscribe to it because I play multiple games, and I think that's a fair thing to say. I understand the value of your $5. Now, with that being said, if I'm not seeing numbers in Heroes of the Storm in terms of subs, then I'm going to go to other games and not stream your game. Right? That's a fair trade-off as a content creator that I can do. Now, I don't know if he's saying that just about me or if other content creators are saying that as well, but I do think HOTS players would benefit a lot from watching other MOBAs. There's a lot of different mechanics for you to learn. Wave manipulation is big in HOTS, but you don't see the immediate effects because the minions don't do as much damage as it does in other MOBAs. So you can literally just not wave clear the entire game, and to a degree, you don't feel it on your hero. Where the minions do a lot of damage is on opposing structures. So wave manipulation, getting a number advantage, and concaving onto a fort or a keep or even into towers can be very beneficial for your macro game, but people don't see that, right? And so that's my job to try and point that out, and I try to do that as a content creator. But if you play League or Dota, you would see that much more effectively, and then you could take that process and put it into your HOTS gameplay. I am a huge believer in variety. As someone that only played competitive games from 14 years old to about 20 years old. So all I did was PvP, and then I finally started branching out, even though it was scary. One, because I saw the writing on the wall when it came to HOTS, and two, I was sick of the game, and I was sick of the community and where it was going. I learned so much more about games, and now I'm coming back to it in Heroes of the Storm, and I'm seeing different things. I'm seeing different strategies, different ways to adjust, and I'm trying to share that with people. And I get it. Some people don't want to learn. It's whatever. But does that mean I have to stop saying it? Like, I don't know what you want out of your content creators is basically what it's coming down to. If you make a mistake and someone's not calling you out of it, as many do say, even in this thread that you have made, the game doesn't teach you how to win. It just teaches you how to feel good. The MVP system, all that stuff. Oh, another thing as well. Oh my gosh. It's brought up in this thread. And brought up in this entire statement as well about I'm gold, so therefore I have fallen from the Diamond Master HOTS Grandmaster gameplay that I had. First off, before I stopped playing this game, I was in Master and Grandmaster every single season. Here's proof. Look at that. All the way through it, all the way down. I easily got into Master and Grandmaster. Part of it was we were spamming a lot of games. I did care a lot about it, but like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and it's kind of... I don't want to be egotistical, but well, put some goddamn respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? Second off, I know how to climb in games. I'm doing it in League right now, and if you've been watching my climbing in the last year, I came out of Silver Elo Hell that everyone's been flaming, and I've moved all the way up to Emerald, and now I'm pushing my way through Diamond and slowly doing that. I'm also climbing in Street Fighter 6. Like, these are games that have a healthy player base that know what they're doing, and I'm doing well. So, like, I gotta be decent at video games, right? Like, I have to be better than average. At least there's proof there if you would look at other content aside from HOTS. Second, HOTS ranking system is really, really odd. It's actually counterintuitive, if you ask me, to climbing. So, I don't know about Dota, so I can't speak towards that, but in League of Legends, you are allowed 1 dodge a day. you get a 5-minute timer. And you can dodge more, but the timer starts to increase pretty aggressively. You go from 5 minutes, I think, to like 20 minutes, to like an hour if you're dodging. Obviously, the idea is you don't want lobbies constantly crashing. But League understands that sometimes you just get one Trix on your team that you don't want to play with, or you get a draft that is not favorable, and if you're a smart player, you can take that dodge and get out of the game and just take a 5-minute timer. In Heroes of the Storm, you are locked in with your teammates. You are fucked no matter what, because if you leave, you get what's called leaver queue. Leaver queue puts you into games with other characters or other players that leave games constantly. They could have bad internet connections, they could be rage quitters, they could not finish out their matches, they could just AFK when they get upset. You know, the worst part about MOBAs. And you're forced to play with them, and you have to win before you can go into other matches. So, do you want to play with someone that you perceive as bad, or you have a bad draft? Or do you want to go play with actual bad people and try to carry them to a win? It's very, very counterintuitive. Now, I understand the idea and the principle behind it. If you had a critical mass of players, sure, you could have a case for leaver queue. But right now, we have a game that's pretty low on players right now. And you putting them in a leaver queue makes things much harder. For instance, there's also that system kind of sucks as well. If I'm hovering a character that I want to play, and two of us are picking in draft, right? And sometimes in Heroes of Storm, you leave hovers up, which you kind of can't do as a streamer. That's a different case completely, as there's stream snipers and people that will try to ruin shit, they'll ban your characters out, etc. But if you're hovering a character that you have, and someone decides at the last second to take that character and lock it in, and you're not quick enough to switch to another character that could work in the draft, the game counts you as, oh, they didn't pick a character, that character's unavailable, and it puts you into leaver queue right away. And this is something that a lot of people do in Heroes of the Storm to just grief streamers, right? I've been hit with that a couple of times, and it's to the point now where if I get a leaver queues point, I'm stuck in 3 to 4 games of leaver queue. It sucks ass. On top of this, you lose 600 points on your ranked climb. Now, in most scenarios, when you do win a ranked game, you get about 190, 220, depending on where it thinks the skill level is between both players. But the issue is it does not mirror your MMR. Your MMR will still be high up. And this is where it becomes even more of a compounding issue. There is rank decay in Heroes of the Storm. So, if you leave a game, or you get knocked out of a game, or you picked a hero that someone else has, and the game identifies that you didn't pick someone else, you get kicked out, and you get 600 points lost, you get put into leaver queue, and your rank will fall down. So, if you ever get leaver queue, or you ever leave a match, you have to win 3 games just to make up for that point differential, and your MMR does not fall. On top of that, I haven't played HOT seriously since 2020. 4 years ago. So I have fallen down all the way to gold due to rank decay and these leaver queue scenarios, or which are the 600 points that I lose. So now I'm stuck at a goal that it thinks that I have a higher MMR than I currently have. So when I log into a match, it's trying to find plats, diamonds, masters that are on loss streaks to pull me in, right? And that makes the rank climb that much more difficult. So ranked has some weird issues where if you look at someone's profile, you don't really see where they are as players. And that's why I try to read players based on their gameplay, and that's where my frustrations come from with the base knowledge missing. And if you actually did pay attention to HOTS, you would know this kind of stuff, right? It's a system that punishes people for trying to climb, and that needs to be changed. Like, before this game even gets more money from Microsoft, the rank system needs to be looked at, and then, of course, the player base needs to get better. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this paragraph. You know, I read through a couple of the comments. You know, I was called a dick, which is fair. I think that's a fair comment. I don't even understand why people watch him, to be honest. Dude's a dick, blah, blah, blah. I think the thing that I can say about myself is that if you have a problem or a thought process, I will respond to it, and I will give you an objective answer. But when you come at me at stuff like, if you were good, you would just climb. Yeah, I'm climbing. But I'm allowed to complain about these things because these are major issues, and you should be complaining about them too. And you should all be really expecting better out of everyone in the rank community. It's so asinine to me that I'm an issue for pointing this stuff out when it's the golden standard in other games. Anyways, that's my response to this video. I'm sure there'll be more topics and more conversations on this. You know, it sucks that we have to go to war with other HOTS players. Maybe I'm challenging their ideals or their baby easy game or something. I don't know. Like, I don't want to go to straight direct insults. Feel free to call me out, call me an a-hole, etc. But like, maybe put a little respect on the name, because like I've been here before, I've climbed all the way up, and I'm doing it again right now in front of your face. So I figure something out, find someone else to be mad at, you know, because I'm not the problem. Maybe you are.